CBT News, celebrating 10 years of delivering the news and content automotive professionals count on. CBT News, 10 years strong. Subscribe today. Welcome to CBT News with Bridget Fitzpatrick.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to CBT News. I'm Bridget Fitzpatrick. Thank you so much for joining us. Here's Chris Riggins with today's top stories.
Thanks, Bridget. Lincoln reported that 356 retailers, or 60% of Lincoln stores nationwide, signed up for the voluntary EV certification program, with 90% of those retailers having locations in the top 130 luxury markets in the country. The Lincoln EV 2.0 certification program permits dealers to sell and service the brand's future EVs if they make specific investments and comply with the program's standards, much like the Ford brand program does. Lincoln does not yet have any EVs on the market, but has showcased two concept vehicles that offer a glimpse at the brand's vision for the age of electrification. General Motors has asked the U.S. Supreme Court to weigh in after an appeals court dismissed its racketeering case against Fiat Chrysler Automobiles, now known as Stellantis. This case is associated with the ongoing corruption scandal that resulted in the conviction of FCA's former U.S. operating arm and sent former top UAW leaders and executives to prison. The incident involves the theft and misappropriation of millions of dollars for lavish items including travel, fine dining, and even a Ferrari. Due to a lack of investment and governmental support, the U.S. has lagged behind China and Europe in the sale of electric vehicles. The European Union and countries like South Korea view the Biden administration's revamped EV tax credit requirements in the $369 billion Inflation Reduction Act as a, quote, aggressive competitive threat, Bloomberg News reports. When asked about the tax credits, European Commission spokeswoman Miriam Garcia said, quote, "We think it's discriminatory, that it's discriminating against foreign producers in relation to U.S. producers. Time will tell what course the Biden administration will take to preserve international trade relations." Volvo Cars has introduced a range of updates for its all-electric XC40 Recharge and C40 Recharge models. After 25 years, Volvo is bringing back rear-wheel drive powertrain options, which replace the previous front-wheel drive variants. Additionally, Volvo has revised its all-wheel drive performance models, unlocking longer ranges and shorter charging times. The range of the Volvo C40 improved to 245 miles and can charge from 10% to 80% in 34 minutes using a public DC fast charger. Don't go anywhere. Coming up next is Jay Feldman, CEO and Chairman of Feldman Automotive. We'll be right back.
Delivering the news dealers count on for 10 years. Subscribe today and join thousands of other automotive professionals. CBT News, 10 years strong.
In early December of last year, Feldman Automotive Group celebrated the grand opening of their 19th dealership, the first freestanding Jeep dealership in Southeast Michigan. On today's show, we're joined by the CEO and Chairman of Feldman Automotive, Jay Feldman, to learn more about the new location and what this means for the Jeep brand. Check it out.
Every time we open up automotive news, Feldman is acquiring another store or building something, another dealership as well. So you've been a busy guy over the last few years.
Yeah, we have been. We've certainly looked at our fair share of acquisitions over the last year. We've slowed down a little bit in this last year because, as you can imagine, the multiples and pricing escalated significantly. Yeah. And so we kind of sat on the sidelines a little bit. Although we did look at a lot of deals, we did make offers on a lot of deals, but some of them just didn't seem to make a lot of sense for us. And
Sure.
We are candidly at this point in the middle of an acquisition that does make sense, and looking at other stuff that seems like it could make some additional sense for us. So
sure,
we'll see.
Sure. Well, that's great. That's great. Before we get into this specific grand opening, I do want to talk to you a little bit about the industry and what's happening in your neck of the woods there. How do you stand in terms of inventory now among your stores?
Well, like most dealers, we've seen the last several years have been amazing. Who would have thought through all these different things like COVID and the chip shortage, and who knows what else, that business would stay so strong.
Yeah.
Although we are seeing inventory building a little bit, obviously interest rates are increasing significantly. We've definitely seen a little bit of a slowdown. We knew this was coming. What goes up must come down, right? And so we're prepared for it, and it doesn't stop us from looking at acquisitions. Our business model, we're in pretty good shape. Limited debt, and there are going to be opportunities this year for sure.
That's great.
But yeah.
And what about used car values? And is that a concern of yours right now? Are you sitting with a lot of used cars across?
It is not a concern of ours at this point. We have a couple little pockets here and there where we have some work to do, but we've been tamping down our used car inventory over the last 7 months, knowing that it can't stay like this forever.
Sure.
And we've seen a lot of indicators that led us to get a little bit more conservative. We were certainly at a point, over a year ago where you couldn't pay too much for a used car,
right?
Because you could retail it for more than you paid for it, no matter what you paid for it. So
right.
That phenomenon has certainly gone away, and we've certainly gotten way more conservative and careful with our trade-in values and used car acquisition policy.
All right, be sure to watch this interview in its entirety right here at cbtnews.com. That wraps up our show for today, but we invite you to join us back here again tomorrow morning for all the latest news and trends impacting the retail automotive industry. And be sure to follow us on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm Bridget Fitzpatrick. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.
CBT News, your #1 resource for auto industry news and content. Join the #1 most watched newscast in the automotive industry. CBT News, 10 years strong. Subscribe today.